What's up everybody, my name's Danon and welcome to Ahnestly. This here is the minor refresh, I'm gonna call it minor refresh, of the Razer Iskur gaming chair. Now unlike the previous model, this is the XL variant and it comes in this fabric, meaning it's gonna be a lot more breathable than the previous PVC leather model. And I'll say it, when it comes to gaming chairs, the Iskur is the king of gaming chairs when it comes to comfort and support. However, this is a seriously confused chair. Let's get honest. The fabric on these new Iskurs is supposed to be water and stain resistant. And to the touch, it's smooth. It's not gonna be as smooth as something like on the Secret Lab Titan Evo 2022, which if you guys wanna see my full review, I'll link that down below. But it does feel like it's been treated with something. Like it feels like it's just a little bit tighter so that water can't really seep in. And in addition to that, it's got these stitchings on the bottom and it looks nice visually, but maybe practically it can support and grip your booty a little bit more. Generally on fabric chairs, I haven't found that to be an issue, but if that is, well, here's a nice little touch for you. But the thing that makes the Iskur chair really unique is gonna be this pop-out lumbar support, which is really amazing, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I just wanna show you. If you pull this lever, it pops out just like that, and you can see the range is huge. But more on that in a minute. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. I don't typically talk about the build process, but I thought you should know that this is by far the heaviest gaming chair I've ever put together, and so having a friend help you assemble this is gonna go a long way. Also, there is one screw under the bottom of this chair that holds this big contraption under the chair that would not go in. Now, it's possible that this is a pre-production chair, so keep that in mind. Once again, this is the XL variant, meaning it was designed for taller folks, not for short, sexy people like me being 5'6". However, this is what I meant by it's a confused chair, because in some ways it is perfectly fine for someone like me and would not be great for taller folks. Let me explain. So this seat depth is super duper long. However, for someone short like me, it's still totally fine because all I have to do is sit more forward in the chair to get my feet on the ground, to get my thighs in a good position. And because the lumbar support comes out so far, I can do that and I feel totally supported, totally comfortable just like this. However, because the seat depth is so big that if I were to try to lean back in the chair, it's not gonna be great because my weight is more forward rather than on the back. So if I try to lean back, you can see that I can't really get into pure bliss mode. In order to do that, I'd have to sit all the way back and then now I can go into pure bliss mode. The other area that's a little bit strange is that you would think that because this is an XL chair, you would have a ton of space on this bottom seat. However, that's not the case. Because of these giant wings, I can barely open my legs to the point where I don't even need a sensor here, okay? Like they're so restricted. So if someone like me being 5'6" feels restricted in this seat, imagine how someone who's 5'11", 6'2" would feel in a seat as cramped as this. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below as that helps the YouTube algorithm push this video out. My knees would definitely appreciate it. Thanks so much. The casters on this chair are perfectly fine, nothing to really write home about. Because this chair is so heavy, it's gonna be rock steady both on carpet and on hard floors. And when it comes to the legs, these are the highest quality legs that I've seen on any gaming chair. It doesn't really matter, but I would say they're equivalent to even like an Aeron's legs. The thing is they're rounded, which means if you're someone like me who likes to put your heels up, well, you're gonna slip and slide and you're not really gonna be able to do that unless you have shoes on, if you're one of those weird people who wear shoes in the house. The controls under the chair are pretty standard of a gaming chair. Over here on the left side, you're gonna have a lever back here on the back side, which is going to be your back tilt lock. So right now it's unlocked, meaning I can rock it back just like this. And then if I were to lock it, I can't rock it at all. But what's unique about gaming chairs is that if I go ahead and lean it back and then lock it, it's gonna stay just like that in that lean back position. So that's pretty much it on the left side. Going to the right side, again, pretty standard of a gaming chair. You're gonna have this lever here in the back, which is gonna control your up and down. And then, in addition to that, you're gonna get the pretty standard lever here. And this lever is gonna control the back tilt. But unlike the previous where you have to use your weight to lean back, this allows you to just pull and lean back a little bit, and if you let it go, it's gonna lock it. Now, if you use this in conjunction to a loosened back, you're gonna get that pure bliss mode that I was demonstrating earlier. Again, I have to scooch all the way back. You're gonna get this pure bliss mode that I was talking about earlier that you cannot get in any other chair, where you can lean back and take a nap or something just like this. Now, I will say that because this is an XL chair, you're not gonna be able to lean back as far, because I think pure physics, this being a gigantic chair and a very heavy chair, that if they were to let you to go back as far as they do on, for example, like a Titan Evo 2022, then the chair would just basically fall backwards. It's just a little bit too heavy, I think. Now, the unique thing about the Iskur, oh, by the way, this lever here is by far the worst quality lever I've used on any gaming chair. It's not only short, but it gets stuck quite a bit to the point where, look at this, it's stuck right now. So I have to wiggle it because otherwise it's gonna just be stuck like this. I have to wiggle it. I have to, you see that? Like it was stuck in that upright position. And if you ever put your hand here while it's stuck, it's gonna bang your hand, it's gonna just leave it shaking. So I don't love this lever. Now what makes the Iskur chairs unique is gonna be this little tab in the front here. And if I pull it, it's gonna pop that lumbar support up, which feels amazing. But I'll talk more about that lumbar in just a minute. Now, when it comes to the seating, the seat, I mean, I already talked about this a little bit, that it feels super duper constricting because of these giant wings that sit at almost 90-degree angles. And you might be wondering, like, can't you just lift your thighs above it? You can't, because not only is it a super, super sharp 90 degrees, but it's also super tall here. So it's like a wall that you can't climb, right? And if you do that, then it's gonna really hurt your thighs. So yeah, you can't even do this. And it's just really unfortunate that even someone like me who's 5'6" feels constricted in this chair. Now, if you are an ergonomics rebel, even like this, being 5'6", you would think that there'd be a ton of space, but there just isn't. And even for me being 5'6", this is uncomfortable. Like it's sitting on my thighs and I could probably be here for a little bit, but I would start to feel some discomfort after a little while. I can't imagine if you're 5'11", 6 foot tall. First of all, I can't imagine being that tall. That would be amazing. But if you were that tall and your legs were that much bigger, I don't think you would find this position comfortable whatsoever in this chair, and you would feel really restricted by this tiny space. However, unlike the Titan Evo 2022, which gets a lot of complaints that the seat is too hard and it's not soft and it doesn't have give, I will say that the Iskur has a much softer seat without sacrificing density. So it feels like it's supportive, but it is softer than the Titan Evo 2022. The arms are pretty much identical to any other gaming chair. They can go up and down, they can slide side to side, they can slide forward and back, and they can swivel out, mid, and in. As for the padding, it is really tough leather up here. It's not as soft as the Secret Lab chair arms. Now, the reason why the lumbar on this seat is so amazing is because it's got a ton of range, so it can really fit wherever you want it to. And because of the nature that it comes up like this, as opposed to like this, means that you can sit upward on your chair if you're shorter like me. And because it's coming up like this, it's gonna, sorry, if this is your back, right? You want support in that lower back area. Because it swings up like this, it's gonna hit that lower back area that you want. So if you're scooched back, again, it's gonna take that same sweeping motion and it's gonna give you that perfect, and it's curved a little bit too, it's gonna give you that perfect support into that spine. It just feels really good. And some other benefits is that because it's padded and not using plastic on like the DX Racer Air, it feels really comfortable. And it's also super wide, which means you're gonna get support on all of your lumbar, all of your back, as opposed to just one specific area or a narrow area. So it just feels really, really good. Now, when it comes to the back of this chair, Razer, just like Secret Lab, have finally done it right, because on previous gaming chairs, the back was always so like curved in to the point where you felt bucketed. That's not the case anymore. So when you sit back on this chair, you can see that I've got plenty of room to move my shoulders back. I am no longer bucketed anymore. The same goes with the top as well. Let me take this headrest off. You can see that the top is also not curved in. So previously, gaming chairs would force you to kind of bucket like this. And this was the biggest criticism that I had, that everyone had, that, hey, we're not racing here. We're trying to sit ergonomically. And all these chairs would force you to kind of sit like this, like turtling. But not the case anymore with the Iskur and with the Secret Lab chairs, where their backs are nice and fleshed out, and you can see myself, like I'm just like pulling myself out and I can lean my head back and there's no bucketing whatsoever. Now, this headrest is the worst headrest I've experienced so far for a couple reasons. One is, look how small it is. And because it's so small, it's gonna be like, you're gonna have to really kind of fine tune it to where you want it to be. But in addition to that, look how fat it is. And because it's so thick that when you go ahead and put it on as a headrest, what's gonna happen is that if you're trying to sit up properly, what's gonna happen is that, you see, this is my natural sitting position. This is where I want my neck to be. But if I go ahead and put this in here, look what happens to my head. I'm leaning forward unnaturally. So this thing only allows you to use it really, or it really should only be used as a neck support. Now again, this chair was designed for taller folks. So if you use the strap, it can't go down that far. For me, it can only function at best as a headrest. And again, it's gonna force me to turtle my neck up. You guys can maybe hopefully see that on camera, that this is a really uncomfortable position for me. But again, the chair wasn't designed for me. However, the other con about this is that it uses the same fabric that it uses on this chair. And while this fabric is fine for places like your legs and things like that, your neck skin, at least my neck skin, is more sensitive. And so this material isn't the softest. I wish they would have used like that velvet material that you find on the Secret Lab headrest or on the DX Racer headrest. And in addition to that, the foam inside here feels really cheap. It's not like a cooling gel that has nice memory foam inside of it on the other gaming chairs like the Secret Lab. So yeah, this headrest needs some work. My overall thoughts. I really do believe that the Iskur is the king of gaming chairs when it comes to comfort and back support, because this lumbar is seriously fantastic. However, this really silly design here prevents it from being the king of all gaming chairs. So I hope in the next iteration they get rid of this and provide some overall quality upgrades, and I have no doubt that it will be the king of gaming chairs. And also, Razer, please send me one that fits my size next time, because, you know, I'm short and sexy, not tall. All right, I get it, I'm not tall. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Until next time, guys, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.